It's on the agenda. Okay. Without further ado, this is the most exciting part of our agenda. I had the opportunity when I was in town to go over to Lapeer, who happened to have Tamer there at the time, demonstrating a new piece of technology that is really, I think, really important for businesses to adopt or to bring into their of some sort. There's a lot of this type of stuff coming up. I had another presentation on something called Smart COVID, which was really more of a it was more of a certification for which I might bring to this group as well. But it would really complement Tamer's program, because what that one is more like when if you work for government or if you have corporations, sometimes you'll have to go through a training that shows sexual harassment training, conflict of interest, confidentiality, things like that. And it's an online portal that you would go in sort of as a class, and you would go through this to show that you went through this training for your company. Same kind of thing for the Smart COVID program that I just saw that's coming out of Malibu right now. And that's really more of for your employees to go through this training about COVID. What Tamer has, so there's a lot of technologies out there. They're all a little different. They don't do what I see that this does with Tamer. Again, as he said, he meets every Friday to get the kinks out and new things come up all the time. He can tell you about them. But one of the things that Tamer and what Nick said to me when he introduced me to Tamer was, right now, if you take the temperature of your employee and you check that they have masks, or even the customers that come into your place, there's really no proof that you've done that. And, as we know that with businesses particularly, there's lawsuit happy people out there that'll find anything to sue you. Luckily, David, you might want to, after Tamer talks, if you wouldn't mind talking about the legislation out there that you talked about at the restaurant meeting. There's some legislation out there for liability to protect you as a business. But in the meantime, you don't have this and can be sued. An employee can say, well, they never checked my temperature and I got sick there, or whatever reason. This documents it, and I'm not going to get into the weeds about it, because Tamer is going to show you how it works and give you all the details. So take it away, Tamer, and I think the screen is ready to share if you'd like.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate the warm introduction. So to kind of roll on with what Jen was saying here, as we're in mid-July now, and people are beginning to go out and do their things, the risk of infection and bringing it back to the workplace is very, very high. And we're seeing it ourselves now that we've deployed hundreds of these solutions throughout the country. So let me just kind of quickly just run through a quick, very visual deck. And then I'll take you right into a demo, and I'll share a use case for a hair salon and a sauna spa, and I'll show you exactly what they're doing, and then I'll follow it up with some of the stuff that we've done in the past. So let me share my screen really quick. Here we go. Jen, it says host has disabled attendee screen sharing. Still says that. Oh, there it goes. Cool. All right. Thank you, Jen. Beautiful. Let me know when you guys see my screen.
We got it.
Cool. Great. Perfect. So one guarantee that we do offer with our product is that we guarantee that not only will it boost consumer confidence, but it will guarantee also as well to reduce that virus anxiety amongst employees and amongst the customers that come into your facilities. And I'm going to show you and demonstrate how this actually works. So really quick about us, the name of our company is Public Wellbeing Technologies. This company was not founded during the COVID time. It was actually something that we were working with prior to COVID in regards to a bunch of health apps. The product, it really is a assessment application. And then when COVID hit, we've adjusted, and what it is today, it is a ethical platform where businesses commit and communicate to keeping their staff and their customers safe. So one one mission that we stand upon, and the mantra of this company is that we believe trust starts with transparency. And as I go through and I show you this product, you'll see what I mean by that. So really quick, how this product works in terms of a workflow. Organizations communicate their safety protocols. The staff check in with the system. The protocols are shared in real time on a profile page. Establishments, once have gone through this process, after 7 to 14 days, they receive a much more attractive window seal that looks something similar to this, that they put onto their windows. And this is actually an interactive sign, and I'll show you how that actually works later. And then ultimately, you're going to, and we guarantee that the virus anxiety from both employees and from the consumers will be reduced. So the way that we've developed this product here is that we've done all our homework on what the CDC compliance is for almost every single sector that the CDC talks about. I know this is all about salons and health and fitness, and those are things that we've already done multiple times, as I share a few examples. But pretty much we've done all the homework for you. We know what it takes, and we know what the CDC is requiring out of a salon, out of a gym, in regards to how to be compliant. And all you got to do is tell us what industry you are in, and we will customize everything for you. So let me kind of show you some visual walkthrough. So businesses place a sign at their front of the window. This same profile as well too, I will share with you how it's also embedded into the person's website. And that's actually where a lot of the traffic comes from, is because every business should have a COVID response effort on their website, what they are doing to keep the employees and the customers safe. So rather than just talking about it, it's time for businesses to actually prove it. And what this is here on the website is that pretty much one page that you need is our profile page. You put it into your website and everything is there, and I'll share that with you guys. So here's the whole process. So a staff checks in. They literally just walk up to this kiosk, which I have behind me right here.
Normal temperature.
So
Please face to the detector frame.
So
Normal temperature.
it will tell you either if you're normal or not. This works for both the staff and the guests. If you are a staff member, it will actually recognize that you are a staff member, and everything is documented. Everything is documented, and I'll show you what that actually looks like in the back end. So as people, guests, and staff members are taking their temperatures and so forth, and actually checking in, not just the temperature checking, you're getting a complete dashboard that is shared in real time with the public. And ultimately, the whole idea of this whole entire program is to bring customers back and, for them to reduce that anxiety. So this is kind of a workflow here in terms of how we recommend a business should go through the actual workflow of screening either customers or staff members. Is that they come in, they check in with the camera. If they're normal, they pass. If they're abnormal, one thing that we ship along with our units is one of these, and I'll go into this a little bit later. There's a unified command center, so if you have multiple locations, a manager or any part of the ownership can actually have a real-time dashboard that shows all the staff members that have checked in. There's like a health score as well too, in regards to all the employees are 100% clear. There's also this whole CDC questionnaire that all staff must address and answer, either every time that they come into the office or after every 14 days. And I'll share with you what that looks like from a real working environment, from a salon that is actually requiring people to sign this CDC form every time they walk in. This is how a visual map looks like if you had multiple locations. If a staff member were to get sick at some point, and that's not just with COVID, that's also with any kind of flu or cold or whatever it is, you can actually, this entire dashboard has the ability to track when this person goes home is to actually measure their wellness at home prior to them even returning back to the workplace. The last thing that we need is someone to come back and still being ill and having that issue of possibly infecting somebody else at the office. So expected benefits, we help businesses increase the number of customers returning into the business, and we help keep your staff members safe. We help customers by reducing that virus anxiety, and ultimately, we help the communities by reducing the spread of any sort of infectious disease. Here are some of our packages. This goes from being safe, from a free plan to a completely automated business system, and we have a special promo going on to all West Hollywood Chamber members. That's it with that. So let me jump right into the live examples, and then I can answer any questions if there are any. I also want to mention as well too, and I can possibly share this link with Jen and she can share. We actually have a dedicated page to salons and spas and fitness that has customer video testimonials, and it goes into a lot more depth than I'm going to go into this presentation here. So I would definitely love people to check out this page right here. So let me share with you one customer. His name is Anthony Morrison Salon. It's a beautiful, beautiful salon over by the beach. And so this is his dashboard. He allowed me access to share it with you guys today. So what you're looking at here is actually a real-time dashboard of all his employees as he checks in. Their profiles, they actually have the different waivers. Actually, here we go. Yep. So let me show you how his profile looks like, and I can show you how the back end. So this is his profile. So his profile starts off with, he made sure that every one of his customers, before they walked into his salon, that they signed a COVID release form, a liability waiver. And that was done on paper and pen. And they were taking it, and people were there, and they would lose it. It was a complete mess. What we've done here is that we heard what he was doing, and now we implemented this in a completely digital way. So the first thing you'll see on the very, very top is a liability waiver. And that liability waiver, you'll go through these same CDC questions that I'm sure you guys seen 100 times. However, this is completely digital, right? And I want to take you through what this looks like at the end, because it's really important. Because this is not just a waiver, it also makes sure that these people understand, your customers understand, that there is an actual risk that is here by you walking in, and it does mention the company name. This is not some generic form that somebody is filling out. This actually is the same exact context that a lot of the politicians are using, aka Donald Trump, when he goes out there and he does his rallies. This is the same verbiage that he's using to make sure that anyone who comes to his rallies, that they understand that there is a risk. So what happens once you press the submit button, everything goes into this database, a complete log of every single person who's been into your salon or gym, and it's all here. And it's great for contact tracing and for a bunch of other types of things in the legality aspect of things. So I'm not going to submit this here, but I'm going to go down really quick here. One thing that we always ask is that a customer should put at least a 60-second video of what they're doing in regards to their safety protocols. It's really important that the customer, that the owner itself shows and has empathy around this whole situation. This guy here went a little bit overboard, and he kind of created his whole entire video, but we definitely recommend that of our customers. And it goes down even more. So the first thing that we ask is something that we just added last Friday, is a whole section of what we ask of you. So a lot of people that I've seen, they come to these businesses and they're like, oh, I didn't know I needed a mask, and I didn't know this. Yeah, it sounds crazy, but people are still saying that. So what we've done here is that as you onboard onto the system, is that you tell us what you are requiring from your customers before they walk in. So do they need to make an appointment? Do they need a physical distance, facial covering, whatever it is, we have it all. You tell us what you want out of your customers, and we'll make sure it's the first thing that they see. Here are all the safety protocols. I want to mention as well too that all the verbiage is actually done where the verbiage is communicating it where it's coming from you. It's not some robotic text or any kind of like legal document. It has empathy. It tells people what you guys are doing, you know, that we've marked our floors, etc. And the same thing goes with the staff as well too. Where it gets really fun with the technology aspect of it, that we have a whole people screening part of it. I go into several businesses every single day, and some of them take my temperatures. I was going to the gym until Tuesday, and they were taking my temperature with a thermometer gun. And it's like, at the same time, I'm thinking here, like, well, what about you? Who have they made sure that, has your employer made sure that you were safe? So what this does is a complete transparency, right? So what this salon has done is that they have all of their stylists here, and you can see here as 717, Casey today, she checked in. She had a normal temp. She was wearing a mask, so it takes a photo of the actual staff member wearing the mask, right? And at the same time, she's also vowed that she's going to be washing her hands every 30 to 60 minutes. She's going to be social distancing from her staff and from her customers. She's disinfecting her station, and she's also gone through a training as well too. If you want to screen your customers as they do walk in, it has the ability to go and do that. As you can see here on this Anthony Morrison salon, they just had somebody walk in 51 minutes ago. And the purpose of this is that if I'm a customer walking in and I want to assess who was in here and who was not in here, I can literally just go here and I can see, okay, there were 10 people that came in today. They all had normal temps. Within the last hour, there's been one person that has been in here. I can at that point make the determination if it's safe for me or not. And that's what that purpose of it is. And then as we continue to go down, just some community wellness guidelines, and where a lot of people are loving it as well too, from the consumer and from the customer side, is that they're able to leave a review on how they felt. This review actually gets sent over to you. At that point, you can actually bring it back into the profile. And you know, we're also seeing people beginning to finally report negligence, right? So there's a lot of times where, you know, I'll be at the gym and I'm not comfortable with a few things that I've seen that they told me that they were going to be going and doing. So this is a place for me to actually bring this up, and all of these negligence reports, they go to you. We see them as well too. They're not made public. It's just for you to make sure that there's a place for them to actually vent without talking to a manager or anything of that sort.
Well, it also keeps your staff honest. If you have, you know, you as an owner can't be there all the time. So, you know, we had this problem in bars that have go-go dancers. You know, they got violations that are they're worse violations than serving a minor, actually, because they are written in such draconian laws years ago. But then by the time they were able to review the tapes were already destroyed. You know, so you don't know what employee was violating the law. So it actually is good to know if your employees are, you know, doing the right thing for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really it. I don't want to, you know, prolong this. I can keep going on, but I think you guys get the idea of what this is. It is a one system. It is the one system that not only checks for your staff and makes them, you know, feel safe, and at the same time, if you choose to, you can also use it for the customers. And then after 7 to 14 business days, we mail out one of these signs that you can put on the door. But more importantly, we love seeing these actually embedded into the website. Every business should have a COVID response on their website. It's a must. And you don't need to copy and paste from some other company or whatever it is. This is the one profile that you need. You embed it into your website, and that's it. And it's updated by itself every single day.
Thanks, Tamer. Let's open it up. Anyone have any questions for Tamer?
Pretty
No
self-explanatory.
Nobody? Go ahead, Hope.
Couldn't figure out how to raise my hand quick enough on the other.
That's okay. Go ahead.
And I may have missed it, but on the piece where it, what part is visible, you said, to potential customers as far as the employees? Like, how much information would somebody see on employees that, you know, had a fever, didn't have a fever, let go home, or stayed?
So what I'm sharing right now, again, on my screen, is everything what the public is able to see, right? So even if you were to actually have say someone did come in, and God knows what's going to happen in the fall, but say someone does come in and they do have a high fever. It does show that this person had a high fever, but so what happens when someone has a high fever? Let's kind of start with that. What happens when someone has a high fever is that the manager or whomever's on the system gets an immediate text message saying, "Hey, John just had a high fever. He screened 3 times, and every time he's had a high fever." Right? So it sends you a message. It lets you know who this person was. It shows you even the face of this actual person. Immediately on the application, you have the ability to say John was sent home, right? And that's what the person ends up seeing on this actual stuff here. The stuff only lasts for 24 hours. It's not here every single day. So within 24 hours, it flushes out, and then it resets. But it does say that John was sent home, and on the back end, you begin to manage John. So if John was sent home, it begins a whole nother workflow that John was sent home. He is now, either going to go see a doctor, and he's going to report back, and John can actually communicate back directly to you. So everything is completely logged and doesn't have to be on like text message or anything of that sort.
But just to interject, Tamara, that's not the public facing though part. So in other words,
no, yeah, you're right.
And again, if this isn't the case, then and I think Hope is also alluding to this, not just the proprietary information. None of the proprietary information is shown, just their first names. So nobody knows it.
Yeah,
now but if someone has a fever, if an employee has a fever and is sent home, why would that be public facing at all? Why wouldn't it just be the people that are working there have been checked and here's their clean bill of health for a public facing person? Why would the people that were sent home, why would that be public facing at all?
Well, I mean, so once again, it kind of just goes back to our whole entire mantra is that trust in transparency, right? We think that if somebody did have a high fever and then you didn't report it and it always showed this glistening report, then it would be somewhat skewed. It is something that, if.
But no, I don't think it's skewed at all.
Okay.
If you're not messing with anything. You're just saying that I'm showing the public who's working today. I'm showing the public who they're walking into working today.
Got it.
Right?
Got it.
And if I put that somebody had a fever, then as a public person, I'm going to say, well, did that person come in yesterday and their fever was fine? Now they have a fever, especially with COVID, with a 14-day quarantine. I would say, oh my God, somebody had a fever. They were sent home, but did they work yesterday?
True.
You're going to get into a business, in my opinion, if you put that in all of the information public facing when it's not necessary. There's no reason why the public needs to know who you sent home. All they need to know that everybody working today is healthy, right? So I just want to put that
that's
out
good. No,
there
that's definitely great.
A back end, not a front facing.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely great feedback. And as you. And, to be fully transparent as well, too, we're building this thing, like Jen, every Friday we're doing a bunch of new features here. And a lot of these new features are being put in is not just me just coming up with some ideas at the top of my head. I'm learning.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because what's come up, especially on our restaurant meetings, is, and I think you've seen it in the news. So a place down in Redondo or somewhere, I don't remember the name, but a Mexican place, employee says they were sick. So a lot of the questions that we get, and then 14 other people got sick, and then the place gets shut down, right? So a lot of the questions our business owners have is, what happens if an employee calls and says, hey, I just got tested for COVID and I worked yesterday, right? So then the manager's like, what's my process? What do I do, right? And there's not a lot out there. I have a fact sheet for managers from the county. McDonald's, one of our franchisees, has a sort of accountability chart that they use. But it is a tricky thing with COVID right now. With you get tested, then what does it mean to your entire mix of employees, right?
Interesting. So, No, I definitely agree with that. Now that you're actually, as we're talking here as a group together, and this is very good for me as well too, to understand. I the board that I'm thinking about as you're speaking here, that if it should only display the people that are working and not that have been sent home.
Right.
The back end should always report that.
Always, and
Yeah,
it should have
yeah.
that documentation.
Correct.
In fact, it's really important you have all that documentation.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's definitely good feedback. Thank you, Jen, and thank you, Hope, for bringing that up.
Yeah. Go
And
ahead,
I don't know
Hope.
where my hand raising thing went. And
We
That's
see you.
okay, go
We
ahead.
see you.
I see your
I'm
hand.
old school, raising my
Small
hand.
group of us. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my other thing, because the concern I had with the details of like if somebody tested with a fever and their name was out there and their picture's out there, immediately I go to HIPAA violations. That am I telling the general public something about somebody's health?
Oh, very good.
That
HIPAA.
might not be okay.
So yeah, to go with HIPAA. So we always get this question here, right? So we've already taken the precautions in regards to how data is protected from the back end, right? However, one thing that we also have been learning from lawyers that have been talking to us this week, we're not actually saving patient data, right? The actual fever itself, the temperature recording itself, the 98.6 and all that is not recorded in our system. We have an algorithm that reads it from the system and then we convert it into a badge. That's within the range. So if you have like a 97 between 100, you're normal, right? And then you allow to go in. In regards to what you're looking at, in regards to the names and to the photos, this person right here, we like to have the photos. I think people should know what the photos look like. However, the names, they actually kind of hacked the system because we don't show the names, but we show the job description. And what they did is that they wanted to show the names, so they put the names in the job descriptions. So, and if you don't want to show the photos, that's definitely fine as well too. The system will just show like a little icon of either a female or a male.
Yeah, that would be good because even if a first name and photo, people can find that person on Facebook or whatever. So, so I would prefer like no face, no just here's your front desk person has been tested, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, we're finding we've added probably over 1,000 employees just this week alone, and we're finding that about 90% of them are adding photos.
Okay, good.
So, but they are not adding the names. So
I think by putting this other stuff in the back end and not having public facing on anything,
I like that idea.
Healthy, we'll put a lot more confidence in the business.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Any other questions for Tamara? Okay, well, Tamara, thank you so much. I did record this because I forgot to invite someone from the city I wanted on here, so I'll send him the recording.
Beautiful.
And if anyone else wants the recording, let me know. We'll send it.